What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Gaelic Gridiron podcast. And joining me this week is the Army Black Knights football head strength and conditioning coach, Mr. Conor Hughes. Conor, how are you, sir?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on. Fired up.
Um, let's start with an easy one. Tell me how you
Sure.
got involved in coaching and led you to where you are now today.
Sure. So yeah, I played Division III football up in America. Obviously, there's three divisions. There's one, two, three. There's no Division 4. So like D3 is the lowest level. Like if you can't play D3 football, you can't play anywhere. So that's how I kind of got my college career started. From there, went to the University of Albany, did a graduate assistantship for 2 years. Left University of Albany, went to Iona College, and was there as the head strength coach for 1 year. Left, went back to my boss at Albany. Left, he went and took a job at Texas State, and I went back up at I think I was 24 years old as a head strength coach for football and men's basketball at the University of Albany. Was there for 6 or 7 years, and then an opportunity came to come be an assistant strength coach at Army, and I took that. And then 2 years later, my boss left here, and I got promoted to this job. I've been here now 7 years, and like I tell anybody, if they let me be here 70, I will be.
Like, what made you want to specialize as a strength and conditioning coach for football? Like, what attracted you to that kind of area or that position? I see a little smile on your face there. I bet you have a good story.
Yeah, a decent story. So I love playing football. I love being a part of football teams. I love the atmosphere. I loved working out in the weight room. I was one of the worst as far as knowing my assignment and wanting to watch film out of any player. So I didn't I love football, but I wasn't great at learning plays, at watching film. And I sat there and I said, "You want to still be involved in this? What can you do that you're just yelling, screaming, being excited, bringing energy, and teach people how to weight lift?" I mean, it was a no-brainer for me to be, instead of being a football coach, to be a strength coach for football. It's worked out pretty well for me. And my first start, actually, my uncle ran a strength and conditioning camp, Boston College High School in Boston, Massachusetts, where I'm from originally. And I went to that camp all throughout high school, and I kind of fell in love with weight room at that point. Did it obviously all through college, and then it's a part of me at this point.
And you played Division 3 football yourself. I mean,
Yes.
was strength and conditioning a key part of, your football life even back then?
Yeah. So the school I went to is Springfield College. It's in Springfield, Massachusetts, and it's a very unique place. So the only thing they really put out are athletic trainers, gym, PE teachers, and coaches. I mean, it's a school that's set up just for athletics. It was started by some of the people who started the YMCA. Actually, basketball wasn't invented there, and it's all about sports. So it's almost like a military academy, but for sports.
Yeah.
Everybody there is trying to be a coach or a PE teacher or an athletic trainer. So it's a very unique situation. So we had. Strength coaches all through college, which not a lot of D3 schools will have, but they have a graduate assistant program where they have a head strength coach and multiple graduate assistants there, and they take you through a strength and conditioning program.
So you're able to see firsthand the importance of strength and conditioning for not only football players, but young athletes in general.
100%, absolutely. And it's the amount that it's grown in my about 15-year career has been tremendous. Strength and conditioning is growing by leaps and bounds every day, every year, and just the increase in development and ability in the weight room I've seen from high school football players over as they enter our program since the beginning of my career has been tremendous. I mean, guys show up now. They know how to clean. They know how to squat. They know how to lunge. They know how to do all the basic exercises. Now we can really get to training almost as soon as they get here.
Yeah. Uh, And it's not just about, I suppose, you know, getting big and getting
Mhm.
strong. It's also a lot of it is about injury prevention and endurance. And I mean, even a 12 game regular season, it takes its impact on your body. So they have to be able to play through, as much as possible, I guess.
100%, and that's part of the job is trying to keep guys healthy and keep. But it's the majority of that part is preparing them for the demands of the sport, and it's preparing them for the demands of practice. But also, I work our head football coach, Coach Monken here, is tremendous at. He wants all the sports science, all the data that we pick up from practice. We chart all of our guys. They have GPS units throughout on during all practices, all games. So we know what a game looks like. We know what a Tuesday practice looks like. We know how to schedule the week on Wednesday. So we know we track all of our guys wearing GPS units at practice, in games, and we know what we wear them during the summer when we're training, getting prepared for actual camp. When they're doing all their running outside, we know what a Tuesday practice is going to look like, a Wednesday practice, and we can adjust our running and our how we prepare our guys throughout the summer to meet the demands of practice, to meet the demands of a game. And then we can adjust what we do throughout the season. If we spike up on a Tuesday, we know we got to pull back Wednesday. And we're making
Yeah.
decisions daily on what our practice is going to look like, how much interaction we're going to do between offense, defense, how much high-speed distance we're going to get during practice, just to try to keep guys healthy. So it's preparing them, but it's also managing their stress throughout the year.
So you've been in the position now for a couple of years
Yes.
with the Black Knights, and obviously that's the football team of a military academy.
Mhm.
So you're able to kind of see firsthand what sets the military football programs apart from the others.
Yes.
So what would you say, what are some of the qualities that set, yourselves, the Black Knights, the Falcons, the midshipmen apart from other programs?
So it takes a special, unique individual to want to come here, and this is the premier leadership institution on the planet. I mean, these guys show up and they're high academic. They've been a captain of a team. They're super hardworking, and they have a lot of athletic talent and they take all those three things together, and we show up as a strength coach. My job here it's the best strength and conditioning job in the country, because we get guys that want to work hard, they know right, they want to be leaders, and we go out there and have fun and coach our butts off every day. But it's what sets us apart is our players. I mean, our players are the best 18 to 22-year-olds that this country has to offer, and to be able to work with guys like that every single day, that care, that want to do well, that want to get better, it truly is a dream. And we could be, we had a rough stretch here in the middle of the season where we were 2-6, and you would not be able to tell in the weight room how our guys were lifting. You would not be able to tell on the practice field. You wouldn't be able to tell in the meetings rooms. They were excited. They just wanted more. They want to keep working harder, keep getting better. And that's the kind of kids, young men we have here that really sets this place apart.
So it's almost as if it's already a higher standard than the usual university because it's a military program. So you are literally getting the best of the best into your football program.
Absolutely, absolutely. They're high academic, they're hardworking, and they have a great athletic ability that got them here. So we try to capitalize on that.
So for the first time this season, the Air Force Falcons were ranked in the AP top 25. It was, I suppose, a historic event, but like that's not something that you would see very often. Is an academy team ranked?
Yes.
So like how hard do you think it is for the likes of yourselves and the other programs to compete against other Power 5 schools or Power 5 teams in general?
It's a challenge, and it's a challenge week in, week out to beat anybody, and truly it's hard to win a Division I college football game. It doesn't matter if you're Penn State, if you're Army, if you're Air Force, or if you're Boise State. Going out there, and there is competitive, hardworking, and well coached, disciplined teams on the field week in, week out. So for us, we really just have to do our job. We have to follow a plan. We have to make sure we're on and not have any assignment busts. We got to play hard, try to keep from turning the ball over. It's all the same stuff. It's just it's hard to win a college football game no matter where you are.
So take me through like a typical day for yourself as in your position as the head of strength and conditioning for the football program. What does that look like?
Sure. So in season, we'll have I'll get in somewhere around 5:15. I'll print up all of our data for the day, and then personally I'll go get my workout in at 6. We might have one or two guys in the gym throughout that 6 a.m. who have to make it up because they make up their workout because they have to take a test or just something happened. Then we'll have staff meeting. I'll have kind of meetings throughout the day. Our guys will start coming into the building about 1 p.m. We'll have a workout somewhere around 2. And this is in season again with our travel squad. We'll go to team meeting. We'll go to a few other meetings, and then we'll have a non-travel squad lift. Go out to practice. We'll go out to practice and warm the guys up and get them ready for practice. And then practice will end somewhere around 7:30 at night, and then just wake up the next morning, do it all over. So it's out of season. It's a little bit different. So we might have some runs in the morning, some conditioning or some speed work. Come back and get a lift in the afternoon, depending on the day. But our guys are at a normal school. You'll have lifting groups at 6 a.m., 8 a.m., 10 a.m., noon, 2 o'clock. Here it's very different because they're very regimented. They all have class throughout the entire day. They have other responsibilities throughout the other day. So all of our workouts are either bright and early in the morning or all in the afternoon. And we lift in 2 big groups. We have somewhere between 60 and 70 guys in each lifting group, and we'll normally run in either 60 or 70 guys or the whole team at about 130.
And you mentioned earlier that your own college experience at Springfield College was almost like a military institution itself. Have you been able to bring any of that experience to your current position within
So
an actual
let me rephrase that. So
Okay,
the focus here is the whole school is on the military. Springfield
yeah,
College is not even close to like a military institution. I was comparing that, like their whole focus is on military there. Springfield College the whole focus is on sports there. So it's
gotcha,
nothing like a military school. It was a normal college, but everybody was just there was no business majors, there was no English
gotcha.
majors. It was all just sporting majors. So yeah, it wasn't. I didn't go through a tenth of the stuff that our guys go through here during college.
Oh no, of
Yeah,
course, of course.
yeah,
So tell me, we've talked about, I suppose, your duties on a day-to-day basis
yeah.
as the coach, but on game day, like, what's your kind of involvement there? I mean, we've seen some strength and conditioning coaches in the past who have been employed as the get back coach for the head coach when he gets overexcited. Is that something that you've been roped into doing, or
So
what does game day look like for you on the sidelines?
yes and no. So obviously we warm the team up, get them ready before the game. Then during the game, yes, it's get back control. Our players are fantastic with it. We don't have any issue. We constantly just got to remind them because guys get excited. They want to get closer to the action and then hey back up. But that's our guys are fantastic with it. And Coach Munkin he is so in control of his own emotional state during the game that he's never going to be running on the field, and that I'll never have to correct him going on the field or going off the field. So that's we do get the get back, but we also we do special teams call outs. So anytime it goes to second, third down, we're getting the punt team ready, we're getting the punt return team ready, or the field goal team, whatever it is, and just make sure that we have 11 so that the special teams coordinator can make the play call and send them in. And
So yes,
that
no,
doesn't
go
sound
ahead. Sorry.
stressful. Yeah, that doesn't sound stressful, but that's a stressful thing to do. Is because you might have 3 guys on the field on defense or on punt block. So you got to you got to get guys that are all the way down on another bench to make sure you get there. You got 30 seconds to do it. Get them in. Remind them, hey, you got to tell Hammonds to stay on, and just it's stressful, but we manage it.
Yeah, I mean, special teams is such a critical part of the game. I mean, it's that third phase, so it does to be involved in that. Certainly, it does sound stressful. And you talked there about the kind of the the rough period during the
Mm-hmm.
season where you're in 2-6. Like, how did you keep your guys motivated? How did you keep them focused and determined to finish out the season and keep going strong and all that good stuff that comes with as part of being a coach?
I mean, losing games is hard, and these guys are used to hard things. I mean, you can see the thing behind me, the post behind me. It says "Last of the Hard." I mean, our guys are they're tough. They're mentally resilient. So just reminding them day in day out, like, hey, push through this, and there's gonna be a light at the end of the tunnel. Push through this. We're gonna win football games. Just remind them we're a good football team. We're gonna win football games, and that turnaround, and you felt it. I mean. We lost to UMass, and then we go out and went out to Colorado, and I think we were, and Air Force is a well coached, tough, like hard working football team, just like Army, and I think we were 20-point underdogs, and that Sunday after we lost to UMass, I mean, you you could feel the intensity start rising. That our guys kind of put their
Mm.
foot in the ground and said, "Hey, we're not going to lose another game," and we really haven't. I mean, just the effort, the execution, the focus from our guys that entire week leading up to that game, and then since it's carried over. So if you just keep pushing through hard times, I mean, good things will happen.
So the regular season has come to a close in terms of college football. Not quite for yourselves, but for the rest of the college football landscape. You guys have one more game left.
Yes.
It's the I suppose it's probably the game that you circle every year. It's the Army Navy game. How are preparations going for that? It's a big one.
Great, great, and for us, the Commander in Chief's trophy. So Air Force, us,
Yeah.
and Navy, it's on the line for us because if we can win this game, we've gone 2-0 in that. That kind of tournament, that championship, and for us, that's the most coveted trophy on the planet is that Commander in Chief's trophy. So our guys are fired up, they're working hard, we're practicing hard, and really just meetings, lifts, practice. Our guys are focused. The energy, the intensity is there, and the intensity is going to be there on game day. We know that. I mean, walking into this game, you get on the bus to drive to this game before we get there, and you can just feel the electricity. It's our Super Bowl, and we're going to spend more time trying to bring our guys. Not their intensity down, but they're just not losing their minds with too much emotion, trying to bring their emotional state down before the game more
Mm.
than anything else, because it's going to be there. There's going to be 40 or 60,000 people in the stadium. There'll be 9 million people watching. Like, they're going to be intense. And they just got to focus. We got to focus on knowing our assignments and executing those assignments really well.
It's on in the Patriots Stadium in
Yes.
Foxborough, Massachusetts
Yeah.
this year, so you'll be back on home territory a little bit.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. I mean, I was a huge Patriots fan growing up. Went to a bunch of Patriots game. I was a freshman in high school the first time that they won the Super Bowl. So I was a fan all growing up as a kid when they were bad, and then the Patriots kind of took off. But yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting because we're staying right in Boston where I grew up, and it's in Foxborough Stadium. So got a lot of family that's going to the game, and a lot of people asked me for tickets, and I said, hey, I'm out. Like that's where I'm at. I mean, I don't have. They don't give me 80 tickets to be able to give away. I get a certain amount.
Is your dad coming down to cheer you on? Say hi to
Yes.
Frank.
Yeah. So it'll be my dad, my mom, my sisters, and then my wife and her family are also coming. So
That's awesome. So like it's a and it's right around Christmas time as well, so it's a bit
yeah,
of an extra special occasion. So will you get
absolutely.
any kind of downtime after the game, or what's next? Do you just keep working right on
We
through?
we'll get some downtime once Christmas ends up hitting. Once the season ends, we'll have about a week of what will non-mandatory workouts if our guys want to come in. Then they'll get ready for finals, and then they'll have Christmas break. And during Christmas break, we'll my wife and I and our baby will try to get both to Boston to see my family, and she's from Pennsylvania to see her family, and then we'll kick back up on January 5th and start training again. So
It never stops. So,
never.
but like the Black Knights are the reigning champions now after the game against Navy last year in Philadelphia, I think it was. I mean, is there any? There's always a great. I've watched Army Navy games before, and there's always a great kind of atmosphere beforehand. But like, do you feel any additional pressure coming in as the reigning champions, or is it just a kind of any other game? Let's just go out and obviously there's a bit more of an edge to it being that rivalry game and for the bragging rights. But how do you feel about that?
There's no matter who won the last one, no matter what the records are of either team, and we're both 5-6 right now, but no matter
Mm.
what the records are of either team, no matter who has more talent, that game is going to be decided in the littlest, smallest details. The margin for error in that game is so small because we have similar types of offenses, similar types of defenses, similar types of players, similar types of human beings that just it is going to be an all-out brawl. Whether one team's 11-0 and one team's 0-11, I mean, it really doesn't matter. You throw it all out the window because you got to execute on that one day because the emotions are so high. It's unlike any other game we play throughout the year. So it's exciting.
And there's always the nice uniforms to look forward to, and I believe Navy are going with the submarine themed unis
Yes.
this year. So I'm excited to see what the Black Knights rock out. I'm be keeping an eye out on ESPN for a uniform reveal.
We revealed it. I think about a week ago. So we're going
Oh,
to
really?
represent, yeah, the third ID, and it's the uniforms look sick, and it's our guys love that stuff. For me, I'm just like, man, I want to win this game. Like it is, you can keep the gear. Just let's win this game. That's all I really care about. But I mean, it's awesome to be able to represent. So each year we represent a different unit in the army,
Hmm.
and it's awesome for our guys to be able to kind of not only represent. Obviously, they represent the United States Army. They represent this academy, but they also represent whichever unit we're representing that year for this game, and it's a big deal for them to want to do well for those units also.
Uh, And you know, I mean, obviously, it's gonna the season is gonna finish in a fantastic fashion
Mhm.
with this game. Are preparations already underway for next season? Are you always kind of looking ahead and seeing what can be worked on, what can be improved on? How can we improve our record and get to a winning record? Or you know, is it always little refinements for the future, or is it live in the moment right now?
So for as a strength coach, our job is never number one. It's never done, but you
Mm,
don't get the immediate reward of, hey, this is. It's a long process. Everything we do, every goal we have, we know it's going to be when we implement something. It's going to be 3 months, 6 months, maybe a year before we actually start to see physical changes, development changes. You'll see some quicker than others. They'll start learning some mechanics quicker than others. But I mean, to change someone's body, it takes time. I like to make the joke that I love cutting my lawn because I know I'm going to go do that job. And when I finish that job, it's going to be done. There's nothing like that in strength conditioning, like where I see the
mm.
reward immediately. It takes time. So as a strength coach, I'm always looking forward. I mean, I have my computer up over there, and I'm working on the winter phase. I'm working on the calendar coming out through what spring ball is going to look like, what our summer training is going to look like. So you're always looking ahead, but in what you're developing, but you have to stay in the moment right now for the players because they're going to be
Yeah.
focused on that right now, and we're all focused on the game also. But as a strength coach, you're always looking ahead because you're planning out what the next phase is like, what we need to improve on this winter, this spring, this summer.
I'm gonna finish up, Connor. I don't want to keep you any
Sure.
longer, but I'd love to get your thoughts on. You mentioned you're a Boston man. You're a proud Patriots fan. I'm sure you've been pretty disappointed with the performance so far this season.
So to be honest with you, and this is complete. Once my livelihood depended on 18 to 22 year olds playing a game. I barely even watch the NFL at all anymore. It's just, it doesn't have the same intensity, the same drive for me to be
Yeah.
able to. And we work all Sundays, and when I'm home, I'm not going to turn on the TV and watch the NFL. I'm hanging out with my wife, hanging out with my daughter. So I've seen things come up on Twitter. I've seen things come up on social media that they're not doing great. But I mean, I honestly couldn't even tell you what the record is. I couldn't tell you who their starting quarterback is,
It's
which
not.
is
It's not.
crazy.
It's not good.
Oh man, that's tough. But I mean, I had the best years coming up through high school to college. That was the peak Tom Brady, peak Patriots.
Yeah.
It was elite
It's
at that
gone. It's
point.
gone. It's gone downhill ever since. I can tell you, Bill Belichick is probably on his last legs as the Patriots coach. So
Oh, that's
it's
that's
it's
crazy. That's
not.
crazy to think. It's crazy to think. I would have never thought that because I mean, he took them from. I mean, they made the Super Bowl I think in '96 when I was really young, and then they were bad for a while there, and then I mean to the top of the NFL. So it's interesting. My one of my first bosses used to say this. This was Bob Ford. He was the only head football coach the University of Albany had ever had there. He said there's two types of football coaches in the world. There's guys who have been fired and guys who are about to be fired. And it's just funny that we're talking about Bill Belichick getting fired right now because 10 years ago you would have never thought that.
Yeah. It's crazy to think that a man of his stature who's done so much for football could be at
Yeah.
the end of his tenure,
Yeah.
not only with the Patriots but as a coach in general. But look, Connor, I appreciate you coming on and taking the time. I will definitely be tuning in to that Army Navy game, provided I can get it over here. It's tricky to get to watch college football in Ireland,
Oh, that's brutal.
but
I'm hoping you
def
can.
definitely definitely shouting for the Black Knights. All the best for that game and indeed the future. And yeah, talk to you soon. Take care.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.